Hernanyegon Machinery and Equipment Co. Limited is a professional supplier of AAC production equipments with ISO International Certificate. Focusing on their research and development, design and manufacturing over years, we have successfully supplied qualified products and services to hundreds of customers all over the world. Now we will introduce the AAC production technology from Hernanyegon Machinery and Equipment Co. Limited. 1. Raw materials preparation. The raw materials of AAC are sand, lime, cement, gypsum, aluminum, water and so on. Sand can be replaced by fly ash or slag. Firstly, sand is wet ground to slurry with a certain density in a ball mill. And then the slurry is stored in a storage tank. If the material is fly ash, it will be put in the slurry maker directly. After being crushed by the jaw crusher, lime is transferred to the crushed lime tank by the bucket elevator for storage. Then the electronic vibrating feeder under the tank transfers the crushed lime into the ball mill for grinding. The fine ground lime powder is conveyed to the lime powder tank in the dosing center by conveying system. Cement, usually in bulk, is pumped into the material tank by transport cart for use. 2. Dosing, mixing and pouring. Lime and cement are put into the powder electronic dosing scale separately by screw feeder, and the slurry is pumped into the slurry electronic dosing scale in the dosing center for dosing. After dosing, the materials are put into the pouring mixer for even mixing. The aluminum is added into the pouring mixer finally. Before pouring, the molds are transferred under the pouring mixer by ferry cart. The pouring mixer begins pouring. The whole process is controlled by the centralized control system to ensure the accuracy and continuity of dosing and the quality of AAC as well. 3. Pre-curing. The poured slurry is ferried to the pre-curing area by ferry carts and transferred to the designated rails there by the hauling machines of molds for pre-curing. The slurry expands and stiffens into a cake after 2 to 3 hours of constant temperature curing. 4. Demolding, cutting and grouping. There are 2 types of cutting. One is air turnover and the other is ground turnover. For the air turnover cutting, when the hardness of the cake is ready for cutting, the mold is moved to the cutting process by an overturn hoist and turned 90 degrees, and put on the cutting pallet. Then open the mold by the overturn hoist manipulator automatically and leaves the cake together with the side plate tilting on the cutting trolley. The demolded cake is cut in fixed points step by step. Firstly, the cake and the trolley is cut horizontally by horizontal cutter. This process is finished by a cutter blade and steel wire tightened by air cylinder. Then the trolley stops in the center of vertical cutter. The vertical cutter cuts the cake up and down. While cutting vertically, the cutting steel wire swings like a saw and peels off the skin of cake, in both sides. Finally, the trolley wheels to the cutting completed area, and the cake together with the bottom plate is lifted onto the steam car by the semi-finished product pickup trolley. The steam car is grouped on the track. The cutting pallet returns back to the original position. For the ground turnover cutting, the cake is lifted onto the tilting table by hoist, when the hardness of the cake is ready for cutting. After being demolded, the cake turns by 90 degrees, and moves to the direction of cutting center, at an upright position. Firstly, the horizontal cutting machine moves into place, and cuts the cake horizontally. And it peels off the skin of the cake in 4 sides. Then the vertical cutter moving up and down, cuts the cake vertically. Meanwhile, The steel wire swinging like a saw, cuts the cake vertically, and peels off the skin of cake in the other two sides. The cut cake is tilted back by the tilting table and lifted onto the steam car together, with the bottom plate by the semi-finished product hoist. 2 molds in each steam car, the well-stacked steam car is hauled to the rails before autoclaves by the hauling machine for grouping. 5. Autoclaving. The grouped cake is wheeled into the autoclave by the slow-action hoist for autoclaving. After 7 to 10 hours, the cake is wheeled out of the autoclave by the slow-action hoist, and lifted into the truck by the finished product hoist for selling directly or storage. The steam car and the side plate return through the back rails for another cycle. 6. The recycling system. This process adopts recycling program for the waste slurry, wastewater and steam condensate. The system includes waste slurry tank under the cutting machine, the condensate tank in the slurry storage tank, the slag slurry tank in the tube and wires. While pouring and cutting, the recycling systems wash the waste slurry again and again, and the wash slurry pours into the recycling system. With constant mixing, the waste slurry reaches a certain concentration, and then is pumped into the waste slurry storage tank of the dosing process, for use by the slurry pump in the waste slurry tank. When the dosing of finished slurry is being done, the waste slurry is added according to a certain proportion for recycle. As an excellent supplier of AAC plant solutions and machinery manufacturer, Hernanigan Machinery and Equipment Co. Ltd. possesses strong manufacturing ability, professional technicians, and efficient sales and service teams. We can supply full services from project design, manufacture and installation to process guiding, training and testing. Hope we can work together to create a better future.